Do you think we're in a spot now where it's actually harder to not get addicted to things?
100%. I think you've got the first point is that everything is so overwhelming and we all need escapism and a break. You know, like if it's not the climate crisis, it's the Epstein files, it's Trump starting wars. It's like there is so much going on
Yeah.
that I think more than ever people are like turning to other things to cope and numb out and escape. Like I see so many things these days that like, oh, I could never be sober, like look at the state of the world, or like I don't know, there was a thing about like, oh, drinking's coming back, and people were like, yeah, of course, we live in a bin fire. Like, I think there's that aspect of it. But I think also we're living in a world where substances are easier to get than support. So I
Right.
think like the things with delivery apps, we've made our lives absolutely frictionless. Like we live in this culture of instant gratification where you can literally get anything you want anytime, pretty much delivered to your door. And I think alcohol and like nicotine, so like vaping, are the two big ones, especially when it comes to delivery apps. You can literally within like 15 minutes get them delivered to your door. There are no limits on how much you can buy. There's no logistical buffers of like you having to get in the car or walk to the shop. And there's no, I kind of call it like maybe a shame buffer of like,
Right.
because
Right.
you're not having to speak to a person. You're not having to go to the same corner shop and be embarrassed about, that fact. You, in terms of like quantity as well, because if you're in a shop, maybe you wouldn't take as much up to the till, but if you're just ordering it on an app, you can just get as much delivered as you want. So I think we've removed so many buffers, and even now a lot of these apps are doing like Klarnas, and you're maybe not Klarnas, but those like pay as you,
buy now, pay later.
those ones.
Yeah.
And because of that as well, you can do that with alcohol. Like it's crazy. So we're seeing this real rise in people who have been affected by like delivery apps in terms of substances, which is crazy.
Yeah. And it's kind of, it's the substances, it's the financial side, the impact of like the buy now, pay later, and the amount you can spend, like you say, without anyone seeing and without any friction to do it. You just tap your thing and you're done, and you can just spend it. But then we've got screens as well. Do you think screens are the new smoking?
Oh, yeah, I think screens are the new smoking, but I think smoking's the new smoking, which is,
Right.
I think smoking is also making a comeback because, we're in this massive like vape thing, epidemic, maybe you would call it. And now a lot of people are like, vaping's cringe because it's like for 15-year-old boys. So we're all going back to smoking. I've seen so many think pieces about smoking being cool again. And like, oh, we're going back to this analog world. And it's also this like, because we have had this like hyper wellness culture kind of shift, and now inevitably there is a pushback against that. So people are also like, clean girls out. You're like, no one wants to be drinking matcha. We're all drinking coffee and a cigarette. Like, so I think we're also like, but it just swings back and forth, and it's like, I don't know, next week clean girl will be back in again because it's all this like these micro trends. So I think, yeah, screens the new smoking, smoking's the new screens, smoking's the new smoking. Like they're all interconnected, I think. Yeah.
But you mentioned before about the state of the world and everything that's going on, and that trickling down into a need to cope.
Yeah.
We've not maybe have never seen before,
No.
not in our lifetimes
Yeah.
anyway, of first it was COVID, then it's cost of living crisis. We've now got like Trump's tariffs, we've got Trump's Iran war, we've got so much going on with no end in sight. It just feels like next month something could be around the corner. So I can see how people are struggling to cope with all of that. Have you noticed that in your community? Has there been a sort of have they been talking about it? Have they found it harder? What's that been like?
Yeah, I think it's just relentless. Like, I think everyone just feels so overwhelming. And like you said, like we have had obviously like things before, like wars, etc. But it just feels like it's one after the other. And we were never meant to have access to this amount of information.
Yeah.
So we are all completely overloaded by all this overwhelming information. And also the future looks bleak as well. Like I think at least, I don't know, when other things are happening, you're at least like, oh God, maybe this will get better. I don't think there's any like, maybe this will get better. I feel like if anything, people just feel like, oh, it's going to get worse. Like the climate is going to get worse. AI is going to take everyone's jobs. Like I don't think there's much hope or positivity. So everyone's like, oh, I don't care about being healthy or like quitting alcohol. Like the world is probably going to burn in 10 to 15 years. So I think like there is a lot of like pessimism around that is feeding into that like
Yeah.
kind of, rising culture.